I hereby call this meeting to order of the Laredo Youth Council on Thursday, the 21st of November, 2024. It is 5:30 p.m. May we all rise to the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can we take roll call?
Carlota Portilla. The pen doesn't work. Hey. Regina Gutierrez.
Here.
Leonardo Moreno. Damien Gutierrez.
Here.
Jasmine Sauceda. Cecily Rojas. Shirlene Ochoa.
Here.
Alison Sanchez.
Here.
Carlos Mendoza. Alice Areza. Sheila Silva.
Here.
Eileen Cortez.
Here.
Sarah Contreras.
Here.
Ivana Guzman. And Vivian de la Cruz.
Here.
We have quorum.
Okay, can we move one of your items up regarding the presentation by staff so Mr. Knapp can present?
I would have to make a motion, right? Okay. So motion to move item 11 to the forefront.
Second.
Second.
There we go. Motion passed.
Okay. Okay, so.
I did that right.
Yes,
Okay.
sure. So I have here Mr. Joe Knapp. He is our city manager. You all have met with some of the different departments, but he is the CEO of our organization of the city, and so he's going to give you some background on himself and what a city manager does.
How's everybody?
Good.
How are you?
I'm good. So I appreciate this. I'm supposed to go to Disney on Ice. I'm playing Olaf. No, I'm kidding about Olaf. But yeah, so I don't know which side will be better to stand on and push the buttons. But so this is my only the second time to do my updated presentation about what does a city manager do, and so bear with it. Hopefully it'll help a little bit with everything that we do. And I'll just talk a little bit about myself and we'll walk through it, all right? And so it'll be an introduction to city management. We'll talk about the overview of the city management and the role of the city manager and some leadership guidelines that I utilize and I have. So I've been a city manager for about 25 years, a little over that now. I've served in a city of the size of 1,200 in population. So 1,200 people. There were 5 people that worked for that city. I was 3 of them. All right. You'll get used to my humor, I would think. But it is. There was 5 of us there that were under the payroll. So we did everything. We did a little bit of everything. All the cities have the same types of services: police, fire, parks, streets, all of those different services. It's just how you divide up all the work. And so that smallest town I worked with, I started in a 1,200 population. Laredo is my largest at essentially 260,000 population, I believe. We actually believe it's larger. It's about 300 to 320,000 in population because we don't think we got a great count for the census information. And then of course all the transient work that comes across because of the bridges and everything. So this is the largest that I've worked with. We have 2,600 employees here. We have the ability to have up to 3,000 so that serve our city. All right, so the city manager, what does it do? It's the chief executive of the city. It's responsible for implementing policies, and it balances the management with strategic vision for community development. So the best way I can explain this is that we have the elected body, the people that are in like your roles here. They're elected by the public. We have 8 districts. So there's 1 council member for each one of those 8 districts, and then we have the mayor who's elected at large. And so the entire city will appoint the mayor. The only other elected position that we have is the municipal judge. And so the municipal judge comes up, and they're all 4-year terms for each one of them. And The council, we stagger it out for, we just got done with an election for 4 of the positions. We have a runoff that's happening in December for District 4. So we have Councilmember Torres completed his 8-year term, and so now it's an open seat. And so we don't know which candidate the people will pick, but then we'll bring them in. They start their role on January 1st. But so the city manager, all that vision that happens with the elected officials, it funnels into the city manager. And there's only one city manager, and then all that work is divided out for that. I like to call it an hourglass, essentially, is the structure of that. I'm the middle of the hourglass. And so I'm the one that the sand all runs through. But the vision and everything that comes from the council goes into the city manager, and I translate all of that into action that the 2,600 employees do. And so that's my role within the city. I will say that I worked for 3 cities in Indiana. I was born and raised in Indiana, and moved back there, started to work as a city manager, served in 3 cities there. My wife is from South Dakota. We met in college, and my wife is from South Dakota. I quit college twice to keep my family growing, and went from there. So my wife's from South Dakota. We met in Minnesota. I won't go into all the details for that. 4 children, 19 grandchildren as of July, or January. And so, but from Indiana, we moved to South Dakota, which was her home state, and we ended up serving a city there called Spearfish. From there, I came down to Roswell, New Mexico. You may have heard of it.
Yeah.
Everybody crashes there at some point. All right, never mind. That's my alien jokes. People that live there come from as far as Alpha Centauri. All right, never mind. But see, look at that. They're crashing. It's like
Very slowly.
we're all afraid of him. And he's weird. But no. And now down to Laredo, Texas. And so those are all the areas that I've been. I will tell you, the people are the same. No, all their needs are the same. All these services are the same, and people. Our job as in local government is to take care of those needs, and then we have to change the services based upon what the needs of the city are. And so, with that, I'm going to share this old city manager training video because I thought this would be a really good way to show you what it looks like. You'll see similarities with maybe some of the things that you guys do as well too, because there's a lot of different ways to manage. But wanted to share with you this video for the old city manager. It's only 2 minutes long, I think. So
this man right here is my great grandfather. He's the first cat herder in our family.
Herding cats. Don't let anybody tell you it's easy.
as you can tell, it's probably not a city manager video,
Anybody
but
can herd cattle, holding together 10,000 half wild short hairs. Now that's another thing altogether.
Being a cat herder is probably about the toughest thing I think I've ever done.
I got this one this morning, right here, and if you look at his face, it's just ripped to shreds, you know?
You see the movies, you hear the stories, I'm living a dream. Not everyone can do what we do.
I wouldn't do nothing else.
It ain't an easy job, but when you bring a herd into town and you ain't lost a one of them, ain't a feeling like it in the world.
does everybody, are you all aware of the metaphor of herding cats? You know, right? That's what this is, right? And that was a...
This man right here is my great grandfather.
That will never end
He's
now.
the first cat herder in our family.
There we go. That's a Super Bowl commercial from a few years back, but it really talks about how you're taking all these different personalities, all these different visions, all this experience, because council members, all elected officials are essentially elected because of personality. And people believe that they're going to be able to fix or help do something within the city. And so when you take all those different personalities, all those different attitudes and all that, you see it at school all the time, right? I mean, that's where your cliques all come from as well too. It's when you marry all those personalities together, that's when you build a community. And so the idea of the video about herding cats is they're running all over the place. Cats are very very on their own, spirits wise, right? And so they just do their own thing. And so that's kind of what the city manager does, try to take all of that and pull it together and move it in one direction. And so that's why I like that video. We can get you copies of it if you need copies for later, but all right. The balancing of the roles of the leader, manager, and the partner. The city manager serves in all three of these roles as a leader to inspire the vision and the strategic direction. So I have to talk a lot. And I have to take whatever that vision is of the council, and then I have to develop it into an actionable thing, right? It's like they come up with a great idea of I want to go pave this street. Well, it's great. Now we have to go and find out what's it going to cost to pave the street. What is it? What do we have to dig it down? Do we have to tear it up? And all those different things. And so we take that vision, we take that strategic direction, and then we try to move it forward. Laredo has the 4 bridges that we lean on. The 4 bridges actually help us. We have a $980 million budget. It'll hit $1 trillion or $1 billion in the next 2 years. I'm not sure exactly when it'll happen, but we're at $980 million, 2,600 employees. We take care of everything from police, fire, parks and rec, health department. I was trying to think of water, sewer. Solid waste, the trash service, and everything else. We take care of all those different services, and that all builds into that $980 million. With that, anything man-made wears out, right? I was a lot younger when I got started, and so now I'm wearing out because everything gets older. Everything gets, and it has to be replaced at some point in time. We have water lines out there, and you guys went through the boil water notice with us as well too, right? We have over 300 miles of water lines that are over 50 years old. And they've already exceeded their life expectancy. We have to replace those lines. It's not inexpensive to replace water lines. It costs millions and millions of dollars. Our water master plan is $911 million to take care of all of our infrastructure to bring it all up. So that's why when I talk about the leader, it is to take that vision and develop it into an actionable way. Then I become a manager because I have within Laredo, by our charter, we actually operate through a director system. So we have the police chief as a director, we have the fire chief that is a director, we have public works, we have parks and recreation, all these directors. And so the charter says you go forth and you go do your job for each one of those pieces. Then I'm over the top of them, and my job is to make sure they get it all done the right way. And so I manage those daily operations, budgeting and problem solving within that. And then of course we partner. Every great city can't do it by themselves, so we partner with the Chamber of Commerce. We partner with Economic Development Corporations. We partner with our family across the river in Mexico. And so, we have over 220 sister cities with Laredo. And so I've gotten the opportunity to go over and visit with some of them, and they talk about their needs, we talk about our needs, we figure out ways to work together. And so all of that relationship comes across. We can't do it without the partners we have. It doesn't happen that way. I think sometimes government is not the right entity in order to do something, so that's why we try to partner and collaborate all the time. Really quickly, building and maintaining relationships. Of course, I have to be able to work with the city council, collaborate and do it respectfully with that city council. As I talked about, they're elected for a lot of different reasons, and there's a lot of different personalities up there. If you've ever watched a council meeting, essentially there are 9 people up there that have a different understanding of life, their experiences, their educations, all of that different pieces up there. We've got everybody from Dr. Trevino, Mayor Trevino, who's a doctor, a longtime doctor. We have Councilmember Rangel, who is he's a truck driver. He has his own business, and so if he's not working, he's not making money. And so that's the difference between their dynamics. And I'll tell you that Councilmember Rangel is a very relationship, and so is Mayor Trevino. They're both relationship type people that how they can help the public is what's important to them. I've got another side of the council on there that they want to do more planning. They want to do more strategic vision for the future. And so the idea is that we have to collaborate together and try to figure out how to move this creature that's the city of Laredo forward. And then of course with the city employees fostering transparency and accountability, I've never met an employee that wakes up in the morning, comes to work and says, I'm gonna do the worst job ever, right? It doesn't really happen that way. And so the idea is that you try to build off of that, and you build off the strengths, and you want to reduce the weaknesses and increase on the strengths. And so you always want to look at the good out of everybody and say, how can we make it better tomorrow? The nice thing about Laredo, what I really enjoy, Laredo at 260,000 in population, it still acts like a small city because everybody is generationally related to some level. I consider myself an adopted son, right? Because I came in from the outside, very welcoming for that. But we have families here that go all the way back, right? When Mexico owned the land and everything, these relationships, this is all about taking care of our home. And so that's why I really enjoy that about the employees. They're taking care of their home, they're taking care of their friends, their families, and everything else. And then of course with the community leading with empathy and service, again, imagine, I mean, I talked a lot about the 9 people and the personalities we have up behind that table. Imagine how many different personalities you have in each one of your classes, each one of your schools, right? That's the stuff that you're doing, and you're trying to help all of them move forward with that. And so we're trying to do that. The strategic vision and long-term planning. City manager's role is long-term city planning. The idea here is that if we do something today, we want it to last as long as it can, because it gets very expensive if you have to change it too soon. And so the whole idea is to do the long-range planning, say this is the stuff that's going to make a difference for the family of tomorrow or whatever the activity is. So we are we stay focused on that long-range planning. Want to do data-driven decisions and aligning with the community needs. It's our average age in Laredo is right around 32. I think when you take in the entire population, our age is 32 to 35, something like that, I think, in the last census. And so if we are doing more senior service related stuff, then we're probably not hitting the main group of the people, right? Because for an average, the average is 32, you go either direction that way until to 0 or to 90, or I think we have people that are older. I think we recognized the 100-year centenarian at some point last year. But you look at that and that averages out to about 32. So our services should be related to the masses, not just the general pieces. And so the data-driven decisions is that you want to get a good deal on whatever you're buying, not pay any more than you have to. So that's why we have the structure that we have with that. And then of course prioritizing projects and resources. I always tell everybody when we're building our capital improvement plan is that there's not a bad project out there. It's just whether or not it's time for it today. And we just got through the boil water notice and everything, and so there's a big focus on saying we've got to replace these 50-year-old lines. In 2019, when they had the longest the boil water notice, which was 63 days back in 2019, that was actually caused by an issue in the plant, the water plants, the treatment plants. They had problems with the water holding the chlorine level. So if the we put chlorine into the water to kill off the contaminants within the water. And if the chlorine level goes down too low, then there's a chance that the contaminants can survive, which is what causes the boil water notices, is you can drink contaminants that may make you sick. And so the whole idea is to keep that balance there. But in 19, when our plants had that problem, we invested millions of dollars to fix our plants. And so this time, the problem came from our system out there in the distribution system. It came from our, essentially, contaminants that were getting into the water lines through breaks or through illegal connections. And so you want to prioritize those projects, because if we're focusing on something that's not going to have the biggest bang for the buck, it may just be too early for that project. Crisis management and resilience, I talked a little bit about this just because of going into that. There is leadership in emergencies, natural disasters, public health crises. Those of you remember going through COVID-19, the impact of that. We have an emergency operations center that kind of comes together with all of our departments anytime there's one of these crises that happen, and we try to figure out the best way to keep our people safe as we work through the conditions of that. Boil water notice took 12 days total over the entire city. We kept changing our strategy every day to try to eliminate it as quickly as possible so that everybody was safe, and then we could fix all of our stuff that wasn't working right. But the leadership in the emergencies is very important. Important for clear and transparent communication. It is really important that everybody understands how you're trying to move the city forward. You know, with everything that you guys talk about here in this group as well too, you're trying to figure out how you can make that difference, and how everybody can recognize that you made that difference is very important. So the clear, transparent communication, and then of course building resilience in the infrastructure and the community trust. I don't know where everybody stands in thinking whether or not government's good or bad. Everybody has an opinion, right? Local government's the one that has the most services. We're a service-driven thing, but as you get up like into the federal government, they're more of a regulatory type body, and they're going to set that direction. So when you talk about government, there's a different type of government, but that affects that community trust. People can make the biggest change at the local level as well too. You know, we all vote for the president or whoever the president will be, but you never know if your one vote counts when there's 6 million votes out there or whatever that number is. And so, but locally you can see that difference and you see that effect. And then of course the building of the resilience in the infrastructure, it is really to preserve on those costs. You're taking people's tax dollars to provide services, so that everybody should be able to get a good service back for the money that you're taking from them. You would do the same thing if you went to the restaurant and you wanted a good service at the restaurant or anything else. Same thing for local government. We should be able to do that. So that's part of the job there. Fiscal responsibility and budgeting. Part of my job is managing the budget with a focus on efficient resource allocation, balancing fiscal responsibility with community needs, and transparency and accountability. Again, we are spending $980 million a year. And this is money that we have to take from everything, whether it be from property taxes, sales tax, use fees. Our enterprise funds are actually, it's a rate, right? Water and sewer, you're paying a rate on your utility bill. And so it's very important to keep that transparent and accountable as to how you're spending their money. I always call what I do as well too kind of a book. In October of every year, we pass the budget for the city in October. It starts in February, and we build it all the way into October, and we pass that budget. Essentially, when we put our budget book together, we're saying this is how we're going to spend your money. So hopefully everybody, you know, you can take that book and say, how is my money being spent? On the other end of that bookend is a report that's called the annual department report, and that report says this is how we spent your money. So in the perfect scenario, the budget book will match up to the annual department report. But life changes a few things, and so that's why certain things come in and they actually changes what your plans were. Half the council's actions, I think, every 2 weeks is about making adjustments to the plan to take care of whatever the current need is. And I think that's covers that one pretty well. All right, leadership principles for city managers. Servant leadership, serving the community and employees first. Does everybody know what a servant leader is kind of like? It's about putting people before yourself. Right? If you're leading and it's to benefit you first, that's not a servant leader. And so the idea is that if you're going to serve people, then you have to make the people more important than everything. I'll tell you, the only reason I work is for my family. I talked about my 4 kids and my 19 grandkids. Been married 42 years. She'll kick me for that, because I think it's 42. It may be about 43. 1983. Do the math for me. But no, it's the idea is that I work for my family. I take care of my family. That, in my mind, that's the most important thing. I changed jobs to go move home to take care of my mom when she got sick. When we moved to South Dakota, we moved her parents in with us, and her mom actually came down with us down here. We still have one of her sisters living with us, because I believe that it is our job to take care of our parents when it becomes time to take care of them. I have 4 siblings, 4 other kids with me, but I had the opportunity to take care of them, and so I felt that was the need. That's servant leadership in my mind. Ethical governments, upholding high ethical standards. You have to be above that fray. You have to give up maybe some of the things you want in order to maintain those ethics and maintain that ability to stay above that. And then, of course, visionary leadership, inspiring innovation, and future-focused thinking. If you're not planning or you're not looking at the future, you're going to make mistakes in what you're doing today. And so your goal. I don't know what your goals are, but if you set your goal out there, you're going to follow a series of activities that are going to set you up to reach your goal, right? And that's the way the system's supposed to work. I never knew that city management existed until I got involved, just so you know. I never did. I didn't know what happened when I would flush my toilet. Where did the water go? It was magic. but to a certain extent. But it was like, how does this stuff all work? And I think that's where the innovation, the future focusing on this, that becomes part of what you're trying to do, because you always want to leave things better than you received it, right? I mean, that's another stage of if it's your turn to be here on the youth council, you want to make sure that you've left the youth council better than you got it. And I think that's always a great way. That's kind of Kaizen, which is continuous improvement kind of mentality. And so, but that's where the vision comes in for that. Community engagement and outreach. The importance of proactive engagement and inclusion in decision making. Again, we're 2,600 in population in Laredo. We have 9 people up there that are elected people. If we're not talking to the public, I'll guarantee you that the 9 opinions up there are not going to meet what the public wants. And so the idea is that we have to find ways to incorporate the public in conversations and everything. So having engagement here and inclusion and decision making is very important within that piece. Building public trust through transparency and responsiveness. I just can't state that enough. We've talked a little bit about that. An example project where community feedback was essential. I've used a couple different ones, and again, as I hope you can recognize, I enjoy my job. I have a bad sense of humor. I've got dad jokes galore, right? I mean, it is. It's like, our cemetery, that is our quietest neighborhood. Nobody that lives there ever complains. Now, people that come and visit the cemetery complain, but the people that live there, nobody complains. And if they do, then I think we're in a world of problems if they do complain. But it is, I know, my jokes are killing you, right? That's another cemetery. All right. Karen's going, oh my God, why did I ask you? Why? And my cemetery humor is probably about as bad as anything else. You guys do know why the chicken crossed the road, right? No. To get to the other side, right? But why did the duck cross the road?
Why?
He was tied to the chicken. All right. All right, never mind. But these projects and everything, and so when they contact the city, they don't contact the city when they just have a problem. And I always think about Mrs. Smith, and there's a dog barking in the neighborhood. She doesn't call the city on the first day that the dog barks, right? The dog keeps barking. The dog, every night, it keeps her, Mrs. Smith up. It messes with her TV programming or whatever else it is. And she doesn't call until she's really, really angry. And at that point in time, then it becomes very important that if we react to that, because when she calls us on the phone, she's mean, she's angry. You know Mrs. Smith, yeah, you all know her. And she's really mean to everybody. And it's like, but if we behave back to her the same way, we'll never get a response to the problem, right? And so the idea is that you never lose your cool within that structure. And so it's like, Mrs. Smith, how can we help? You know, and you walk them all the way through that. But I think that's where some of those projects and everything, if you have the input from the community within there, then you'll make less mistakes of what it is. And the only other example I have with this thing is that you never want to build a dog park in a neighborhood that are all cat lovers. I think that's the easiest way I can say that, right? Because a dog park doesn't belong if you have the neighborhood of cat lovers. And so if we would have reached out to the community and said, do you want a dog park? We would have heard no. But if we had one of our 9 people say, I think they need a dog park because we don't have one there, that's where we lose sight of what the community involvement is. Challenges that face city managers: balancing growth with quality of life. The challenge we have in Laredo is that we are growing fast enough, and the bridges are a blessing and a curse, because the bridges bring, my brother-in-law comes down, he's living down in the valley now, but when he comes into Laredo, every other vehicle's an 18-wheeler, right? And that's what it feels like, and there's not a lot of places like that, but we are impacted by that. But it is also 51% of our general fund comes from the bridge revenue. We're able to provide police, fire, parks and recreation, our street improvements and everything, all comes from the general fund, which 51% of that general fund 51% of the bridge money comes into the general fund. And so we have to be able to balance out that growth with the quality of life. And so having all of that activity there, that's a $320 billion business of all the stuff that crosses the bridges. And when a truck comes across the bridge, it takes 7 days before it hits the entire nation. So it is a very big powerhouse. The mayor loves to talk about we're the #1 port of entry right now. We're beating Los Angeles, we're beating New York, and we're only a little town of 260,000 population. But balancing that out, because we have to also deal. Does any of you live up in the Mines Road area? Okay, you're lucky too, right? Yeah, that Mines Road is something. I'll drive early in the morning or late at night, right? Because it's really, really packed from side to side. Resource limitations and rising service demands is always something, because I'll guarantee you that if we were to, we would break the bank if we did everything that everybody wanted. We would break the bank. So that means you have to prioritize within that $980 million budget. You have to prioritize what are you going to get done for that amount of money, and every day there's something else that needs to be fixed or that needs to be replaced or whatever that is. And then of course navigating political and public pressures, because Laredo has this generational feel and everything with it, and everybody knows each other very, very well. There's always this political piece that goes in there. You guys have politics in your classes as well too. There's pecking orders. There's all the different these structures that we all create for whatever reason. But you have to navigate that, because those pressures will cause you to behave a certain way at a certain time. And so those are challenges that face city managers. Keys to effective leadership in city management. How can we make that work? And by the way, I noticed this the last time I did this. I need to fix that, because that should all be on one line. So I apologize for that stuff. I think I have 3 or 4 slides like that. I need to fix that. But we need to build strong and empowered teams. I think the one thing is that because we move so fast, we have so many things to get done. If they're waiting for me to direct them, it's not going to work very well. So we establish the standards, we establish policies in order to get that all done. and then everybody goes forth. I talked a little bit about nobody comes in every morning and says, I'm gonna do the worst job ever today. I'm gonna get fired today because that's what I'm aiming to do. Nobody really does that. So it's really about giving each one of those people the resources, the tools to get their job done, and then getting their butt out of their way, because they will surprise you 9 out of 10 times. They will take care of it the way they are. And I think that's what's about building these empowered teams. Setting clear goals and aligning the efforts across the departments. Again, 42 different departments. So I talked about the different personality types we have up on the council. 42 directors have different ideas as well too. I have some that love to micromanage. I have some that don't even come in the morning. And they're on Laredo time. I've learned about Laredo time. Laredo time is an interesting thing. The world shifts here for Laredo, but for time. And so if you're 15 minutes late, you're still early, I think. But all right. But so you're always aligning these efforts across all these different personalities in there, and then the continuous improvement through innovation and feedback. We talked a little bit about the innovation and stuff. And if you are doing everything correctly, feedback's a good thing. I mean, feedback will always tell you whether or not, and that's why you take a test. The test is to see exactly how much you retained, and then that's your feedback to figure out, okay, what do I need to work on to do a little bit better? And so that's that feedback that goes into that. I have another video. This one here is kind of indicative of, now I'll just show the video first, and then I'll explain why I like to use this one.
Somebody! Hello? There are 2 people stuck on an escalator and we need help. Now, would somebody please do something? Help! I don't believe this. You gotta be kidding me.
I'm gonna cry.
No, there's nothing left to do.
Fix it in a second.
He said he can fix it. All right, that's more like it. He says he can fix it.
By the way, there's another Super Bowl commercial. I'm just saying. All right. The reason I like showing this is that what happens to an escalator when it doesn't work? What does it become?
Stairs.
Stairs. So why are they stuck on an escalator, right? And of course, by the way, I give the airport director crap about this all the time, because when the escalator doesn't work out there, and I'm trying to fly out, it's like, come on. But they are stairs. The reason I like to show this video and everything is that it's about the empowerment of people as well too, is that you can either stand there on the escalator and wait for somebody to come help you, or you walk up it, you walk down it, you find a different way to do that. That's that empowerment that kind of goes in there. I think it's kind of funny just for that reason, because you don't have to be stuck. There's always a solution to the problem, and so that's why I wanted to share with that one. I just love it when the guy that fixed it has the same problem, right? And it's just, and so now they're all stuck there, and yeah. It's about as far as my other humor goes, by the way. All right, final reflections on leadership and public service. Serving the community is a unique privilege and responsibility. I know I'm not normal, just so you know. If you haven't noticed that, and Karen will tell you if nothing else, I enjoy what I do. And I think it's a true privilege to serve the public. And I think that if I can make somebody's life better, I've probably ruined all of your lives tonight, just so you know. But if I can make somebody's life better, then I believe I've done my job. I've done what I need to do. Like I said, I work for my family. If I can make my kids' lives better or my wife's life better, I've done my job. And that's about service. And so it is a unique privilege and responsibility, and I enjoy doing it that way. Takeaways for future leaders: having an empathy. It's one thing, and I've been watching all of you while you've been watching me and listening to me and everything, and trying to make sure that I'm reaching each one of you in some way within that empathy. I don't know if I've gotten there or not. You've all been very kind, so thank you for that. But it is trying to. It's one thing to put. I can put myself out there, but if you're not hearing me, if I'm not reaching you, then there's no empathy there. And so that's why I keep going at the curiosity. That's always something I said I would never grow up. When I got out of high school and everything, I said I was never going to grow up. I don't think I have entirely. I've gotten old, and but I think my curiosity stands there. I enjoy watching people. I enjoy watching why things happen a certain way, and so that's my curiosity that continues. The resilience. We deal with a lot of different personalities, and if you have an ego, or if you have something to damage, I guess, because somebody says something bad to you. I've been called a lot of names over my life, and I'm sure some of you might have been called something at some point in time for whatever reason that individual had an issue for. But you have to have that resilience. You have to trust yourself. You have to believe in what you are and who you are, and not allow anybody else. There's only one person, and I've said this before with other people, there's only one person I will let get inside me and mess with me, and that's my wife. And because I've decided that's it. I don't let anybody else affect me. Nobody else is going to define who I am. And there are people that don't like who I am, and that's okay, because they're allowed to do their own thing. But the resiliency that goes with that is that if I lose control of myself, then I can't serve, and if I can't serve, then I can't be who I am. And so the whole thing kind of wraps around within it. But those are the final reflections. I think. Thank you. My email's here. I do respond very well to emails, and I can answer any questions if you have any. I usually put everybody to sleep by now, so I can usually sneak out without any problems. But I'll answer any questions if you have any questions about what I've provided or what I didn't provide.
One thing I was wondering is, as youth leaders, what's one piece of key advice you would give to us through your own experiences and through what you've seen?
As a leader?
Yes.
Some advice? Well, I gave you some of it right there, because especially with that last little piece here, a true leader, if nobody follows you, you're not a leader, right? I mean, because you're just walking by yourself, and that's a metaphor that kind of goes with that. But I believe that if you're going to be a leader, and my role as a leader is to make sure that every one of my people have the resources to do their job, and they have the understanding of what they need to get done, right? And so, if I've given them all of that, and then I've stayed out of the way, then I'm now leading. If I'm going to say, well, here's the TV controller, Karen, you're going to turn off the TV by pushing that red button. And then you're going to go lock that door and everything. Now I'm micromanaging. Now I'm stepping way out of that. I should be able to trust in that. Now, Karen goes, well, how do you turn off the TV? Then I would step in there and help. But I think that's where, as a leader, And I'll tell you that every one of you are leaders. You do not have to be at the top of an organizational chart to be a leader. People lead from all through the organization. We have some really good employees that are in the mid-level, even the lower level, that lead. People follow them because they make sense. They know enough about their job and everything that people will gravitate toward that. Just because you have the position doesn't mean anybody will follow you. That it just doesn't happen that way. And so each one of you being here as well too, I will say that you're a leader in your own right. If you're comfortable with who you are and everything, it all plays in that. But that would be that's probably my biggest piece, is that leaders come in all shapes and sizes. There's not one version of a city manager. I have a master's in business administration, but there's also a master's in public administration. There are also attorneys that make good city managers. There's finance people, there's planners. Everybody can be a good leader or a good city manager if they really believe in what they're trying to accomplish. So, anything else? Yes.
City Manager, first I would like to thank you for being here. It's very
Yes.
special that you're speaking to us. It means a lot. So my question was in regards to the budgeting. I know you mentioned y'all have discretion when allocating budget. So how do y'all weigh the importance of different needs or different demands of the community?
And we go through that a lot. There's a lot of different types out there. I'll talk a little bit about the types, and then I'll tell you kind of how Laredo does it right now. But there's things called priority budgeting, and so you're going to take that $980 million and you're going to say, all right, what are your priorities? And then you're going to just start at priority 1 and you're going to work your way down till you run out. There's zero-based budgeting. That's very similar to the priority-based budgeting, where again, when you hit 0, you stop your budget, right? The Laredo's budgeting has been for a while, and just so you know, I'm the 8th city manager in 8 years for Laredo. 8 years as city manager. Now, city managers have probably a 5 to 6 year shelf life anyway, because it's a political kind of position. And so people change on the council, then they want to make changes within that whoever the coach is. But 8 years, that messed up Laredo a lot because everybody kept changing. There were some that lasted 4 months. There were some that lasted, a year, whatever. And so the city manager, as they're being responsible for that budget, tries to put it together. What we do right now is that we know what we essentially do the revenue first. What new revenue are we going to have coming in? Then what are our obligations for that new revenue? We do salary increases. We try to do salary increases every year, so 2 to 4%. We'll try to take care of our people and move their salary up so they can take care of their families. Cost of services go up, utilities go up and everything, and then we'll try to eat that money. And then if we have any money left, then it goes over into the capital projects so that we can replace more capital projects. But essentially we tell everybody's budget, keep it where it's at, or we'll allow them a 2 to 3% increase within their budget, and they'll nudge everything around. I would argue that every one of our departments is a priority in their own right for what they do, and that's the challenge we have with following a strict, we're going to start at the top and work our way down, because some of our services would suffer then. And but that's the best way to do that. We're required by law to have a balanced budget, and so every year we have to balance it out, and then every year we have new items that come. Almost every council meeting there's a new item that comes to the table that we didn't know about, and then we have to adjust within our budget in order to get that there. And so but yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you
so much for coming. It's really appreciated.
Yes,
Yep.
we really appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Anything you guys need, let me know and everything. Karen knows how to get a hold of me really quickly.
Too quickly.
Just 2 doors down, one door down. But let me know where I can help. I appreciate that you're all here. Thank you for what you're doing as well too. Hopefully you're learning and having fun doing both of it. And because if it's not fun, you shouldn't be doing it anyway, right? And so, but yeah, if let Karen know whether you liked it or hated it, and I'll take out the pieces you hated. Those are my only two, those are my best videos, all right? Those are the best ones that I've ever found that just, they're funny, in my mind. But enjoy the rest of your meeting and everything. Like I said, I'm going to Disney on Ice tonight. I am playing Olaf. No, I'm kidding. I'm Elsa. But no. But it's yeah, we're gonna go sit and look weird because we're old people watching Disney on Ice. But all right, enjoy. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great night.
Just real quick, Karen, I'm wondering if it's okay. I'm sure some of you are hungry. Can we take a second for everyone to get their food?
Yeah, that's fine.
Who wants to get water or there's pizza?
Oh, my back hurts. Karen, I was wondering something. I was wondering if we could get like shirts, like
Yeah, I left the sheet there, somewhere for you all to put in your shirt size, yes.
We're gonna get shirts?
I think so.
Like it's nothing related to this. That's why I won't tell.
Really?
Damn. Oh, and I'm coming back to OD.
What? It's cool.
No CS for me. Why not?
I couldn't find a partner, and there was a lot of beef, but I was able to get it back. I had to contact the whole principal. Sorry.
¿Cómo te pasaste tu cumpleaños?
Bien, muy padre con mis amigos. Say burrita y loca.
Okay, Spanish.
Yes, sir.
Well, I just realized how much I wish I was bilingual for my trip to Mexico.
Everybody was posting you on for your birthday.
Oh, I
like,
know. I did not even go through it. I'm so sorry. I was like,
I have the best friends.
I heard it like the first 10, and after that, I was like, yeah.
I was like, he's gonna get all the
I have the best friends.
I like my story and then skip.
That's crazy.
I was like, I want to have that many friends.
No, I have wonderful friends in
It's because Leo's really popular.
I'm
That was super
guy.
popular.
I'm super famous.
Karen, real quick, I just want to make sure. Did I do something wrong with the motion? I want to make sure I did it right.
Yeah, I mean, you all didn't, someone seconded it, and then you all should have voted.
Okay. Okay, so motion, second, and then we vote on it. Got it.
No.
Are we still being recorded?
Obviously, it's what you eat. That's why I asked.
Do you think I could register a discussion while everybody eats, or do I give everybody like
No, we can
yeah.
It's
Okay.
For us, it's always hard because like I was like the valley, so it's hard kind of like with them because they like I don't know if you notice like they kind of or at least in 5A, it's the same people that always go. Like you're for the past like 3 years, 4 years. And like no, and you're still
Yeah, and then I'm like, hey, you're like this, and I was like, oh, so I'm not the only one like that.
like
Oh, wow.
they never make it. Our school is the only one that goes to finals, but they never get past like.
So now moving on to item 5, discussion with possible action to be the council's creative project that highlights Laredo's history and culture, sponsored by Shalene Ochoa.
Oh, and Naga too, right?
Oh, that's sponsored. Yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
my co-sponsor. Oh, we have to second it, no?
No, we could just start talking about it.
Oh, okay, we just start talking about it. Sorry to interrupt y'all while you're eating. I know it looks super delicious right now, right? So you guys know, well, I was asking during, I guess, what do you call it, like an election process. I'm very passionate about Laredo. I've never been ashamed to be a Laredoan, and I think everybody here should too. So that's why I put this on part of the agenda. So, good afternoon, members of the council. I feel a deep sense of pride and responsibility in representing our city of Laredo, a place with such rich and cultural historical background. However, I believe we're missing an opportunity to celebrate and share this unique history with our community in a more engaging way. Sorry, I'm just gonna take off my jacket. It's getting a little hot. Don't mind me. Alright. So, I would like to propose an initiative aimed at making our history come alive through a series of interactive pop-ups. These events wouldn't just be about sharing information, but creating an experience that connects residents to Laredoans' Laredo's roots. For instance, imagine different departments showcasing the history tied to their roles. Our police department could highlight how law enforcement has evolved over the years. The library, like as we all see in our internship, the library could display historical artifacts that tell stories of our community's growth. We could even involve local artists and storytellers to bring these pieces to life. So I don't know if you know about like it's by Mine House. It's a small pizza joint. I forgot the name it's called though, but I have contact with them, and they said that if we do this like event, that we can involve like local artists to have like kind of like an art competition, and whoever's like first place could get like free pizza for a year, which I think is amazing. And I mean they're also based off.
It's a Pizza 360.
Yes, yeah. And also their logo is based on Laredo's like history, and I think that's super cool. This initiative could be mobile, popping up at parks, schools, or even community centers, making it accessible to all parts of Laredo, which I think is most important. It's a way to bring our city's past into the present, reminding all of us where we come from and why our heritage matters. And like our presenter just said right now, even though it was pretty long, one thing that I got a key point from was that Laredo is unique in a sense that it's kind of like a bigger city, but it kind of has a small town feel. And that's something I've never seen anywhere else. Even if you go to McAllen, which is another border city, nothing is like Laredo, and I think we should really embrace that. By investing in our history and culture, we not only educate, but also foster a deeper connection and pride amongst our residents, something that I should have and everybody in this room should have as well. I hope we can work together to explore and develop this reality. Thank you for considering this as part of our agenda.
So great. One thing I was wondering, what's like a timeline you have by when we should have this done?
I don't have any specific time limit. I just want this to be like a good organized event. I don't want anything to be rushed. I am asking for sponsors, so like I've said about the pizza place that I've mentioned, they have mentioned that they could contribute to.
If you're looking for sponsors, I believe Karen has to be included in those emails. No? No, okay.
I mean, I would appreciate it, but if not, you're fine.
Okay, great.
You need to handle.
So you have Pizza 365, and have you had anybody else respond?
No, I just wanted to share this first because, you know, as vice chair, even though like I am vice chair, one thing that I did plead was that I wanted to share everything with you guys first, because like everybody says about being a good leader, you always put your constituents first to you. And I wanted to share ideas with you. I know you guys are bright young individuals, and I know you guys have ideas. I was thinking of doing like kind of like a pop-up, like having like different like for example, like how we have an internship here, we literally have a book from the 1800s. Like that's cool, that's interesting. We have a female writer that's compared to be the Mexican Susan B. Anthony. Not a lot of people know about that. Like, I think we have ideas, and I would like to hear some of those if anybody has any.
Would you like want the youth council to be like kind of like a booth talking about the Laredo history as well?
Yeah, we could do something like that. I was thinking more like since Karen said we're gonna have shirts, right? Something like that. Like maybe we could wear shirts and we could go around helping organize an event.
Oh, okay.
And the art contest, sorry, I'm like mispronouncing my words. Like we could showcase those art projects, and I want to do like art projects, not just like paintings or drawings, but there's also like sculptures here. There's authors, there's illustrators, and like I want to incorporate all of that in there.
I know there's always exhibitions at the Laredo Center for Art, so we can definitely talk to them.
Yeah.
And see if we can organize something with them. That'd be wonderful. I know they always put an exhibition like art from our community and stuff that represents our community. I know, for example, they have right now an exhibition on how the heat impacts Laredo and its culture and its socio-economic development. So I think that'd be wonderful if we could partner with them or talk with them about the possibility of showcasing that exhibition.
Yeah, that's a wonderful idea.
Holiday.
That's a wonderful idea. Like, if any of you guys can message me via Instagram telling me like different businesses that would like to contribute. I know my dad, he owns a trucking company, like my stepdad, and he said he'll be happy to share like the history of it through a booth. And a lot of business are trying to get their name out there too, so that have historical background.
So how big are you thinking that you want the pop-ups to be?
I haven't really thought about that yet, to be honest.
Alright, and I just want to mention Karen. So would we have to go to since we're asking like for city departments and we might be asking for city funding, would we have to go to council to request that?
You don't have to go to council directly, but I mean, first you have to figure out a plan as to what you would need money from. I don't know that you would actually need that much money from the city. To be honest.
It's a pop-up. Like I wasn't like everybody. I'm pretty sure the table isn't that expensive.
And I have my partner. he's the one who brings cherries and like tables and stuff like that. I had asked him about, I know you had placed this
Yeah.
long time ago.
And I was also thinking of like putting like food truck events and stuff
Yeah,
like that to make it more interesting.
I was gonna ask, like, did you only want, like, how you said, like, the Laredo Police Department in there? And, like, let's say you get, like, the firefighters or
Yeah.
whatever. Do you only want, like, departments like that? Or would you want, like, food, like, I guess, businesses as well?
I want departments on everything because so the whole reason why I wanted to start this is because not a lot of people are proud to be Laredoan. Like I've realized that everybody wants to move out, which is fine, like bigger economy or whatever, right? The thing is, I want people to leave this and have a lasting impact. Like, wow, we actually have culture. It's not just a small, boring town, which most people think it is. And so I want to have across everywhere, like food history. I know we have a lot of food history. There's a lot of food history.
So I have some suggestions for you, just especially so you don't start an event from scratch, right? And so you connect something, you already have a little bit of a built-in audience.
Yeah.
There's different events. For example, the Laredo Main Street hosts the farmers market at the outlets once a month, and so there you have a lot of those food vendors coming in. You have other pop-ups, and they have the space there to do more stuff. Another option, has anyone here been to Caminarte?
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been to Caminarte
Yes.
downtown? Okay, have you been to the ones recently?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so Caminarte is based in downtown Laredo in like the historical part, and it used to start off just as an art walk, going to different galleries by local artists and stuff, and now they're trying to promote like the downtown businesses and the culture. So they're trying to bring in food trucks, trying to bring in other businesses and like pop-ups so that it's like a family-friendly event like in downtown Laredo.
Do you know the person who's like in charge of
I
that?
do.
Can you send me the email, please? I would
Yes.
really appreciate that.
If
Maybe
you
can
could
start from there.
send me an email with some of organizations that you want, I can connect you to them. So I think they would be interested in partnering with you all, just one, to bring people in, and two, like they want to have the youth involved, and so that would be really exciting for them to do.
And like by when, like, I know Dimmy already asked this, but like, do you want this like for like next year? Not like the next coming year, but like how far recent? Like how far recent?
Well, not next year, because me and all the seniors will be graduated already. But
I'm thinking like April or May.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause it will take a while.
I believe
Also,
that.
for the emails, could you include me on them just so I can also help keep track?
Yeah. I'll try to like tonight. Like I'll try to get all the emails together of all the businesses I want, so I could also forward them to you and Karen. Yes.
I was gonna say that we should go up to council in public comments and talk about this because I think some council members would be
Interested in
down
sponsoring
to
it?
sponsor the
Well-
event or support the event or just promote it.
I think, Leo, you're right, but I think you all need to have a better plan. So once
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
hey, we're partnering with so-and-so, or we have this on this date to do X, Y, Z, and so that you know what your request is. Because like I said, we don't know what your request is, so we don't even know if you need money, right? You might just want them to go and support, or you might want them to help you connect to someone, and you don't have to do that through a council meeting. We have their council assistants and their staff that we can connect you to as well. So like it might work better for you all to go maybe closer to the date and say, hey, like we have this together, we invite you to participate with us, come join us, come see what we did.
Yeah.
And that would also kind of be like a nice invitation to them as well.
But the key point is I also other than the historical, I wanted some artists to come in. This past few days I went to the mall, and you know the mall, like the pop-up shop that comes up, there was this author, he was based on Laredo, and he has multiple stories just based on the history of Laredo. I mean, they're fiction, but they're based on historical. I wanted to invite him, I wanted to invite his illustrators. So
We
like,
have a teacher
Yeah.
that is a writer, really popular here, and he's a teacher, so we could definitely bring him.
We also, one of our former teachers actually is an artist who's worked with Laredo before, and specifically he loves to do murals and commissions when it comes to
yes,
history.
invite
So we
those
can talk
people,
about them,
give
maybe
me
providing
their
his
emails
work.
and stuff like that. So that's really all I want to talk about. I want to talk about these intelligent people here among me. So I guess we move on to
Well,
other.
is there anybody else who wants to contribute?
Like any
No.
comments, nothing?
So let's move on. Moving on to item number 7, discussion on Laredo Youth Council continuing last year's project for a movie night, sponsored by Carlota Portillo.
Portilla.
Oh, Portilla, I'm sorry.
Did I put Portillo?
Does it say Portilla?
No, I didn't put any names. Okay. Well, just before you start, well, I'll go after you go. After the letter, I sent you all the response to it.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen it. Hi, as some of you may know, last July we hosted a movie night at the Haines Recreation Center. It was a small get together with the community, but I would like to continue on with this and make it a tradition for the Laredo Youth Council. It was a success, but I would like to improve on some things that we did. For example, I would like to get more money for the projectors and for the lights in, so that it can look better, because last time the sun was still out, and you couldn't really see the movie. And as Laredo Youth Council, we're going to be giving out snacks at the movie night as a contribution to the event. This time I would like more people to come and contribute more and to bring more snacks. And I would prefer if we did it in December. I know it's very soon, but with my experience last year, the longest thing that really took was getting a sponsor and getting a date. Everything else moved really quickly.
So Councilmember Segarra did respond to the email, and I forwarded it to you late this afternoon. So it's okay that you didn't see it, but some of her things, she was okay being the sponsor of the event again. But she suggested, I believe, maybe you all selling some of the snacks so you can make a little bit of money, or charging, so that you can use it maybe towards, like, if that is another event that we want to do. Regarding the display and the lights, we did an event there recently, and she mentions it there. We covered the wall, so Parks helped us cover, so we didn't have an issue with the lights and stuff, so that would, help a lot with your all's issue that you had. But she just wanted to make sure, even, from the initial reaching out, that she's good to sponsor. She just wants you all to do it with more time.
Okay.
So I don't know if December would work, and we have to see what's available, but either way, the resources would stay the same.
Okay, thank you. And as our, what's his name? I forgot.
Mr. Nem?
Mr. Nem was saying that we're a big city, but yet a small town community. I would like to enhance this community by bringing us together with this movie night. I believe that with this we could bring people together as Laredo, because Laredo is such a beautiful city. But yet a lot of people complain that, oh, there's nothing to do in Laredo. Maybe with this, we might, I'm not saying we could change people's minds, but at least have something fun for the community, for families, and for kids to do, because with a Christmas movie, maybe we could put like Elf or the Grinch or something. And I had an idea where maybe we could give out hot chocolate and donuts or something like that.
Maybe we could sell them.
Yeah, maybe we could sell them, or we could sell cookies, and that would be really nice. Because
you already have Alice's email, so if you want to start, you can try with her to see if your date would work.
Yeah, because I saw that last time a lot of kids came and they loved it. There was games. There was games for them to play before the movie whilst everyone was coming in. And it was just truly such a nice experience, and I would like to continue on this tradition and maybe make it a Laredo Youth Council tradition as the years go by. Thank you.
So can I add something? I was wondering, like a drive-through movie theater is honestly known, like at night, like with driving cars. Are we gonna be able to have that, or do we just not have the place or budget for
We
that?
don't have the place or budget.
Oh, okay. And then next thing that I want to add, I forgot what I was gonna add already. Yeah, I completely begs me. But I think I was gonna say, like, maybe something like not like early in the morning, but maybe midday. And I also think we need more promotion, like about like the drive-in theater. I think it was a really good idea. Like, I love your idea for that.
Thank you.
But I just think in order to get more people, you need more promotion. And maybe like, since we're all like representing our schools, maybe we could start off there. Like, I'll share like, by the way, they're
Yeah, that's why I was saying, just like, we need to set a date now, because last time we didn't start giving out flyers until like 3 days before.
I actually didn't notice until the day of, like, a promotion.
Yeah, and I went the day before to the recreation center. There was no flyers until the day of. So that's why. Thank you for telling me that Cigarroa said yes, so that now I can get into contact with the parks.
Stanley, I believe.
To set a date.
When it comes to promotion, what we included in the letter was, well, we didn't specifically say any posters, so I thought that maybe we could just do everything through PIO, but if y'all want to buy posters, we can. The way we had it was, we would do promotion work a week before, 2 days before, and then the day of, but I don't know what y'all would think would be best.
I was thinking more 3 weeks before. The 3 weeks Instagram, 2 weeks start putting out flyers in our schools, and then a week before we tell everyone. Because when it comes to those types of events, it's the type that you kind of plan with your family, like, hey, do you want to go see this movie night thing with me? That takes time to plan with not only us, but with your families as well. It's not a necessarily let's just go the day of. It's not. It's. I was talking to someone who does a lot of advertisement, and they were telling me, just like when it comes to those types of events, you need to at least engrave it in the people's mind that this is going on, that they can have it in the back of their mind, at least for a couple weeks leading up to the event. So I was thinking more 3 weeks before. 3 or 2 weeks, I would say.
So it would be a combination of like Instagram and posters that we would put up within our own schools and the community. Okay, great.
For like as far as flyers go, like, is there any specific amount of flyers, or because like let's say like me and Ivana, we go to TAMIU, so like I think since TAMIU is pretty big, I would say like
Anywhere.
10 flyers, I would say, but when it comes to Alexander, it's a lot smaller of a school, so I would say 3 flyers for us.
Or we can just do it digital. What we could do is we can also email it. I can get all the elementaries from UISD and have, like, I can email all the principals, especially the elementaries because they're the smaller kids. Digital, that way it's not too many posters that we have, and maybe 1 poster per school. And mostly all digital, that way it's easier for all of us.
I could get most of the recreation parks. I work with some of them to be able to put the flyers out there. There's a lot of kids who, volunteer or go during after school programs. So.
Well, those 2 are really good ideas.
Yeah.
I like your idea about the emails. I just know that a lot of people don't look at their emails.
What I would say, at least for the elementaries, because obviously you can't email like 7-year-olds.
Yeah.
But because my mom's an elementary teacher, they have like a parent square, so they send it to the parents. So at the end of the day, who's gonna make the decision to go? It's the parents.
Yeah.
So they can all post it in their little parent square or whatever they have Instagram.
I could also share it with my soccer academy. My mom part-time runs a soccer academy at Rayados. So maybe I could share it there. It's a lot of little kids up to middle school.
I think all of you all have different networks that no matter what it is, whether it's an email, whether it's like a business, whether it's your group of friends, as long as you all share it. I don't know that we did a lot of that last time. That would be beneficial because all of you all have your own groups and stuff outside of this.
I do like the social media idea a lot, but I'm still gonna stick to the physical flyer. And I would like, if you're gonna put it in your schools, to put it in an area where there's a lot of foot traffic, so that not necessarily someone's gonna look at it, but someone's gonna glance at it, and if they see it many times or every day, it's going to get in their head that, hey, at Haynes Recreation Center, there's gonna be this.
Good question. Are we gonna want like donations for anything that we're gonna be selling?
Yes, I would like for the council to donate food. So we would be selling desserts and hot chocolate. Maybe hot chocolate, because hot chocolate is pretty messy.
Yeah. So the way we had it last time was we had cookies, we had popcorn, we had some drinks and all that, and that was all free. But they did recommend for us something. So what if we had like free popcorn and free waters or like free juices, but there's other stuff that we're selling on the side. So we could sell a hot chocolate, like you were mentioning. We could sell some other desserts or snacks. But at least that there would be popcorn and something for them to drink in case they maybe couldn't buy something.
Oh, I like that idea.
Yeah, I like that idea. I just feel like with that, I feel like a lot of people are just not gonna buy anything because of the fact that we have a lot of free stuff.
Maybe we could give out free waters.
Maybe you could do when someone comes in, you give them like a ticket, and so that's what they get, you know, a free popcorn or something. So they don't just go up and up and up, and it's just like that's your one per limit, one per person.
Okay, and would we do like one ticket per person, one ticket per family?
I think per person. But I think it would be best regarding this planning. I know that some of you are interested. You can let Carlota know, and you all can meet separately on this.
I would really like that if we met separately.
I don't know how feasible December is because we are already, next week is Thanksgiving and it is the last week of the month.
Yeah.
And then if you want at least 3 weeks, the 3 weeks is right before Christmas. And so I don't know how much promotion you will be able to have in your schools and that kind of stuff.
Not only that, but also adding the fact that cold weather is really, really kicking.
Oh, that's why we would have inside.
Yeah.
That's why we would have it like, so last time since we had it on a day that so happened to have a lot of rain. They said it was gonna rain. It did not. It barely ran. And so we had it inside at the gym at the Haynes Recreation Center. And people sat there, and there were some people who brought blankets, right? Damien? I thought there were some people.
Some families would bring their own blankets.
Yeah, and it was nice, and they sat around the screen, and it was a nice experience. Also, speaking of food, yes, I would really like it if we were to give out desserts, but another thing that I would really like to continue from last time is where we get city-approved food trucks so that they could be selling there, so that we can also.
You all did that last time?
Yes, but we only brought one food truck.
It just depends if the food truck is even available, because they're not ours.
They're not ours.
I'm like sorry to interrupt you. I don't really want that much like food trucks though, like because then people are not gonna buy from ours.
Exactly. We're not gonna be the ones advertising.
Also, another thing, Karen, would you recommend creating a subcommittee, or do you think that's not needed?
Yeah, you can do a subcommittee, because I think you all are in the planning, but we're a really big group to plan, so we can do that separately.
Great.
So those emails, that communication that we've talked about, you can add whoever it is in that subcommittee so that everyone.
So would it be a subcommittee for each of the agendas?
No, it's because this is an event and it's more established than like once like you all are able to figure out more of the history and culture one, then you can, create a subcommittee to move that forward, and this one is already a little bit better.
And we don't need to make a motion to create a subcommittee, do we?
Yes, you can. Yes.
So, do we need one?
Yes.
Okay, so motion to create a subcommittee for Carlota's movie night projects.
Second.
Okay. Vote yes, yay. Vote.
All in favor.
All in favor. All opposed? Motion passes. Right, so Carlota would serve as subcommittee chair, and she can request whoever she wants to be on the committee, I believe.
I mean, you all can raise your hands.
Yeah.
Maybe like 3 or 4 people
Who
only.
would like to
be involved?
Okay, pass it around, put your email and your Instagram so I can put
What you can do if you get too many, maybe you put all the names together and you pick random 4 or 5 of them, and those are the ones that'll help.
Those are the people who dedicate a lot of their time towards this and helping a lot of Carlota out.
And everyone will be able to help and participate. But I'm saying that'll be like active participants, like leading it.
Who would go
Oh,
to the
okay.
Great.
Okay.
So as we're passing that around, any other comments people want to make on this? Anything else that needs to be said?
No, because I think we have 12 minutes. So.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay.
A motion to create a subcommittee for Shirley's.
That's once it's more established.
Okay.
So right now we're in
I
the
think you
stages?
should wait.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me get all this together.
Okay, so now it's gonna be, we're moving on to item number 8, discussion on possible project to inform and highlight the resources that disabled children in Laredo can access. So that's sponsored by Sheila.
It's already good night, right? Or good afternoon still?
Think good night.
Pretty good night. I just wanted to propose this conversation within Laredo. I've been hearing from a lot of parents and guardians of many kids with special needs. I don't necessarily like to use the word disabled. There's a lot of parents and guardians who feel very offended by that word targeted to their children. Where they wanted an assembly and also or a convention where they could come in and talk to the people who are in charge of the health department or anything to do to Laredo to be able to see what we could do as in services postings or any information really about what they could get and what the kids could benefit. I always hear the same thing, and even I have a brother who is a teen, has autism, not seeing the opportunities for them to be able to do anything during, the year makes me kind of sad. Not to say, but sometimes kids with special needs, for example, the type of movie night that you're trying to host, a lot of kids who have disabilities could go in there because of different noises, the type of movies, there's just different things that every other kid can't go in there for their own needs. And something I was talking to the parents, not only that, to the recreation parks that I have attended to see what type of programs they offer for kids with special needs. There's not many, due to the fact that not a lot of parents or people who are certified to be able to do something in those recreation parks assist too. And something that they told me was to talk to you guys to see if we could make flyers and also that assembly to be able to do pop-ins, to have different organizations. I talked to one that is located here in Laredo. They said that they're willing to help, but to have a certain date due. And I want that to be able to be possible during January or the ends of June and July, maybe, hopefully.
Who said they would be willing to help?
I forgot their name of the organization. I talked to them during the summer, during June, but I have their phone number, which is
What's
the
this?
reliable service.
Scan by any chance?
Huh?
Scan? What's
No.
this scan by any chance? No, that's for adults.
Yeah, that's for adults,
Yeah.
they're not for the kids. And I've also talked to my mom, who's also in contact with organizations in San Antonio to help kids with different disabilities. And they're willing to also help. I don't think we're gonna need a sponsor for this, maybe just for the place to be able to have everybody, but I'm not sure if we have anything available there. I see any problem.
For children with disabilities?
Just to be able to have a building where every organization or this Laredo Health Department could come in and see and talk to parents. But also I want to be able to give the platform to parents.
They already also have, I'll send me the email and I'll get you in contact. There's actually, I think it's still an active committee. It's a blue ribbon for families with children with disabilities, I think, that find some of those resources to come together. So maybe you can work with them and do something, together and invite more parents that don't even know about it and stuff.
Yes,
So that might be an option.
that was a problem that I was talking because my brother attends to therapies and it's a big building where there's a bunch of people. And I always hear the same thing where they're like, it's because the Laredo doesn't really inform us of what our children have. And when they do, they don't tell everybody. They don't advertise it for every parent and guardian. And what's it called?
All those resources are very spread out. It's hard to get.
It's super hard, and that's what my mom, especially my mom, was advocating for it really hard. And I was talking to my brother, and I told him, I was like, how would you feel about having more opportunities, like every other kid, being able to go out and have those gatherings with people just like you, and being able to talk about the same challenges or issues that you might face. And he really likes the idea. So I think having that opportunity to be able to expand, because I feel like Laredo can expand a lot in inclusivity. So, yeah.
I have two quick questions.
Yeah, go for it.
So one, is it gonna be children just based with physical special needs or mental special needs? And then two, is it a pop-up that you want to do to get these kids to interact with each other, or what was it specifically that you were thinking?
Where I want to start with assembly, just to have the parents first. I want them to know the information of what they can do, and for them to have a platform of asking questions.
Like a presentation?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the best thing would then be to connect you with that group, the one I'm telling you about, because they are at different advocacy groups and people that come together, and that's they all know each other and stuff, and so that would be a good platform for them to present.
It would be more like a town hall meeting, correct?
Yeah, and then was it for physical and mental? Because I know different ones have different presentations.
Various has everything.
Okay, everything. Okay.
Yeah, in general, because every kid has either both. My brother has physical and mental and emotional. It's just one, so it would be kind of awkward to just be oh, it's just physical. Here you go.
It's just for 1/3.
Yeah, which most of the time does happen, where they just focus on one part and it's what happened to the other various parts.
Yeah, and you want to be different.
Exactly. I want it to be more inclusive and everybody being able to just hear what's going on and parents knowing that, you know, their children matter, not just others.
Like
you
a
know?
presentation by the people that are specialized in those types of.
Yes.
Okay.
So what exactly would we need from the city again?
We don't need a lot. I think I
use
just need
that
to
much.
connect you to the resources.
Yeah. Because I have like already set plan of what I could do and who I could gather. It's just, I'm guessing probably just the building itself, but I don't know.
Yeah. You know what? I love your idea. Like, to get diagnosed, a lot of people go to Corpus Christi just to get diagnosed. And that's not even to get like actual like basis on what they were diagnosed with. So, you know, I love your idea, Shayla. Like, I think it's so genius of you, like to bring this to Laredo, because like I said, we want to make Laredo better.
Matter of fact, tomorrow I'm going to my cabin early in the morning just to get something done for my brother.
Yeah.
And it's yesterday I went to San Antonio to be able to get stuff done for my brother because there's nothing here, and families don't know. Like I know certain parents are stuck with a certain doctor that, in my opinion, doesn't do much. And we had to look outside of Laredo because nobody informed us. So it's hard to get that word out for other parents to know who to go to, where to go to. So yes.
Sounds great. So can we get you into contact, I believe?
Yep.
Any other comments, discussions that want to be said?
I would just say when you do it, for sure, I'm part of MIN, which is a club in my school. I don't know if anyone's familiar. It's Meet in the Middle.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of stuff, but it's mostly with our school, our kids, just to try to include them. So if you do it, let me know, and I can reach out to the sponsor.
Of course.
And she's really cool, so she's willing to do anything to help you too. So let me know.
Sounds great. Anything else? Okay, so we're running short on time. We have 4 minutes. I was wondering, Karen, what would you recommend? Should we try to get as much as we can for the next one, or should we just table the items?
It's up to you all.
I think we have 4 minutes. Who's the item?
I mean, you all have already put a lot of stuff on your plate.
Yeah.
Like, so I would.
We could table them.
Okay,
So
so
just so they won't feel rushed in explaining what they need.
Yeah.
So
Unless
You think someone can make a motion to table your item for the next.
unless is the next item yours?
yeah, no, but I'm fine with tabling it.
Okay.
Are you fine with tabling it? Okay, so motion to table item 10 and item 9.
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes. Okay, so Shirlene, what's this real quick? Shirlene, I know that you had something you wanted to say, or are you fine with moving on?
Oh, I was fine. I found it with you.
Alright, so motion to adjourn?
Motion. Second.
Second.
Alright, the meeting's officially over.
Alright, thank you all for your time.